ladies and gentlemen, this is James Steiner. Welcome back to Analogue, a hate story. So, my microphone decided to not work for the whole last recording, so this is the second attempt at recording this episode. But because of that, my epiphany is null and void. I'm just going to read it to you guys, and I'm going to just tell you guys my thoughts on it. Okay, Ryu Jae-hwa, she writes, "The more she lives in my house, the more I am confused by the mystery that is the pale bride. No wonder why my husband has been favoring the Kim family lately. Their daughter seems to be the perfect woman. She's not simply a pale beauty. She's always too shy to speak at all, let alone argue. Seems to hang off his every word, and it turns out is actually so completely humble in her education that she cannot even read. Or rather, she cannot read normal characters. I've observed her writing to herself, in perhaps what may be a diary. When I asked what it was, she wouldn't say, but was quick to hide it. I could not recognize a single character on her screen, however. They seemed simplified compared to regular writing. Perhaps she has invented a writing system just for herself? It is very strange. Did you ever receive those letters I sent to your house before you arrived?" I asked her, curious. Seemingly she had. "Did you read them?" Her response was worried, as if she was scared that I would be angry to find out that she hadn't. I was not, of course. "I'm sorry, I had assumed. Are you able to read?" That was when I found out that she wasn't. I offered to read them to her, to which she seemed quite enthusiastic. I think I am likely to leave out some parts, however. I had enough difficulty bringing myself to writing the more embarrassing parts of the family history. Bringing myself to talk about them, even if I know she would never say anything, is just far too much. Like all things with her, I cannot tell whether her enthusiasm is sincere or an effort to make me happy. This troubles me. Yep. Of course I wasn't illiterate. I could read just fine, just not their stupid Chinese-based characters. I mean, I can understand them now. Everything except for my diary entries is translated from them. It's such a dumb way of writing, though. It makes everything come out so stilted compared to proper Korean. Well, anyway, you're showing me that because you're interested in her admonitions, right? Yes, tell me what she hid. Then here, I'll just give you the letters she sent. They give all the details, even the ones she was too embarrassed to tell me about at the time. You could probably guess which part she cut out. It's pretty obvious. It's the incest thing that she never told me about at the time. My reaction the first time when I read that was priceless. Just trust me on that one. Having read about it now, I don't really blame her. And well, here, you can see what I mean for yourself. Yeah, so the whole incest bit, I'll say what I said before. I had an inkling that there might be something like that, but I wasn't positive. But it'll be after this part. Muteness. And then I'll give you my thoughts on this one as well. Dear Diary, I've been thinking a lot about how close my death must be now. Lately I've been getting prone to fainting spells. It probably goes right along with my diminishing appetite. If the doctor from the past was right, I've still got over a year left to live, maybe more. He said it wasn't very likely to get bad enough to kill me until I was at least 18. He said, did I miss what exactly this disease was? It's some type of degenerative disease, but I'm not really privy to the actual name of this disease. I wonder if it will be enlightened to us at some point. Although maybe all those years in stasis might have changed that, I don't know. But if he was right, and if I haven't lost track of time, I'm 16 and a half right now, so there's still a while. I've been trying to hide the signs of sickness. Even if I could explain, I know full well that nobody would believe me. So far, hiding has been mostly working, although I did have one of my fainting spells while my husband was on top of me. He wasn't angry at me, though. I don't think he cared. I know all I write about these days is sex with my husband and conversations with his wife. The Kim family would be proud, I guess. But those two things are all that's really worthwhile in my life. I have other responsibilities, of course. They're just not that interesting. And that's about it. Anyway, the Queen has continued to be nice to me. She finally figured it out. We were having tea together one afternoon. She was talking about nothing in particular, and she asked me some questions that I just shrugged to. I hope you do not take this the wrong way, she then said, but there is something I would like to ask you. I nodded. I don't think I've ever heard your voice before. I nodded again. Why don't you ever speak to me? Are you just saving that for the Emperor? I didn't know how to respond. She was so close to getting it, to bringing up the subject I wasn't able to. Yet, that wasn't the right question. So I shook my head and hoped that her next question would be. It was, "Then, Hyun-A," she said uncertainly, "are you mute?" And there was a nice big cavalcade of reactions and all this good thing. All the signs were there, but they never explicitly said it until right here, and I just love the way it turned out. But at the same time, I'll get to my thoughts in a little bit. I felt like screaming yes at the top of my lungs. I was so happy that she'd finally figured it out. I smiled and was about to nod enthusiastically, but suddenly I stopped. What if she thought less of me if I said yes? If she knew that the reason I was so quiet and demure wasn't because of any sort of discipline. Those were the things people liked about me. Would she stop liking me if she knew? What if she told my husband? I was so terrified, I couldn't think of any correct answer. If I said no, I'm sure she would have asked to hear what my voice sounded like, and I'd be forced to disobey. And if I nodded, then she'd know I wasn't really just trying hard to be a good wife, and I'm sure she would talk to my husband about it, so he'd know too. But while I stared at her in terror, thinking of how to respond, she sighed and sipped her tea. "Don't worry about it," she said. "You do not have to answer. Please do forget that I even asked." Okay, now I talk to you. You know, nobody ever noticed that until her. Nobody cared. Nobody ever thought any of it, or cared enough about me to find out. But she did care. She actually paid attention. She was great. Okay, back to my thoughts. She's mute. And yet it just so happens that the AI on the ship, the security AI, is also named mute. Okay, that's a very, very strange coincidence, to say the least. And now something else just came to me. She now even has less of an incentive to actually kill everyone on the ship, because she actually liked someone else on the ship. But obviously, the queen of the emperor died. I don't know if the emperor killed her or died of natural causes. I know we'll probably want to find out in the next episode. But that might have pushed her to killing everyone. Maybe. I don't know. But I guess we will find out very, very soon. Hopefully in a much longer episode. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to click that like button, share, favorite, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye! Yep, it's actually on. It actually stayed on this time. You freaking son of a beach. Yes, overwrite that save. I can't wait for the next one. Next one's gonna be a good one. I know it!